Hi, VencoreWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Tuesday, March 3rd. A lot of weather to go through over the next 48 to 72 hours or so. A very active weather pattern. Today we'll have a round of snow and ice here in the I-95 corridor. It'll break out during the afternoon hours, continue as frozen precipitation, most likely right into the early evening. Ultimately changes over to plain rain up and down the I-95 corridor by later tonight as temperatures slowly rise. Wednesday looks like a milder day with periods of rain, maybe even some fog. And then colder air filters in tomorrow night, Wednesday night, and it looks like another round of precipitation will ride right along a frontal boundary zone into the I-95 corridor. Rain should change to snow by early Thursday, and significant snow accumulations are likely Thursday morning up and down the I-95 corridor. First, let's walk through today's event, and then we'll focus in on the late Wednesday night, Thursday morning significant snow possibility. First of all, this is the current 850 millibar moisture transport map. And what it shows is, just want to point out that there's a lot of moisture headed right into the Ohio Valley, and some of this will move all the way into the Mid-Atlantic region during the next few hours. A very impressive looking transport of moisture from the Gulf of Mexico right into the Ohio Valley. Of course, this part of the Mid-Atlantic region is very cold right now. Temperatures primarily in the 20s, and not a good combination when you have a lot of moisture streaming in from the south and west right into a cold air mass sitting right on top of the Mid-Atlantic region. Very similar to the weekend situation. Well, two things I want to point out on this particular map. First of all, the radar here shows all this moisture already up across the Ohio Valley, and it'll stream pretty quickly over the next few hours from west to east right across Pennsylvania. I expect precipitation to break out in the afternoon hours up and down the I-95 corridor, perhaps as a mix of snow and sleet in D.C., most likely in the form of snow in Philly, and very likely in the form of snow in New York City at the onset, and then rather quickly changing over to a wintry mix. Certainly some slick travel conditions are possible up and down the I-95 corridor for the evening commute. Can be a coating to an inch or so of snow and ice by later this evening up and down the I-95 corridor, perhaps even up to 2 inches or so in the New York City metro region. Also right now we can see these lines right here represent critical thicknesses. In other words, all these are represent different freezing points in different parts of the atmosphere, and basically from DC and north right now it's cold enough for frozen precipitation, and the quicker this precipitation area expands to the east, the longer the frozen precipitation period will last in the I-95 corridor. Again, quite cold air sitting right on top of the I-95 corridor this morning, and looks like precipitation will break out in the frozen variety during the afternoon hours. Well, let's now focus in on some computer forecast maps. This is all of this using last night's Zero-Z GFS model run. We'll concentrate on the situation for this afternoon and this evening, and then we'll jump ahead to tomorrow night into early Thursday. That's the significant snow possibility. First of all, for early this afternoon, this is the forecast map for about 1 o'clock this afternoon. Notice, again, high pressure moving off the coast. This is kind of an unusual cold winter where we have a situation with a high moving off the coast, southerly winds, and yet we're still going to get some frozen precipitation. Normally this type of synoptic pattern yields rain in the I-95 corridor, especially in early March. But here's the freezing line at 850 millibars come early this afternoon, and the precipitation just then is starting to break out again. Anytime during the early to mid-afternoon hours, expect the precipitation to break out from D.C. to Philadelphia and even into New York City by the mid to late afternoon hours. Let's now jump ahead 6 hours. Well, here's the forecast map for early tonight, about 7 o'clock tonight. Now notice this freezing line here at 850 millibars jumped to the north and east. It was down close to the D.C. region. Now it's on the doorstep of the New York City region by early tonight. Basically a warm front approaching the I-95 corridor, and ultimately it changes everything to plain rain. Again, before that changeover to plain rain later tonight, maybe a coating to an inch or so, maybe up to 2 inches in the New York City region. Certainly can have some slick travel conditions with temperatures still at or below freezing around rush hour tonight up and down the I-95 corridor. Well, here's the forecast map for late tonight, about 1 o'clock in the morning. By this time, that freezing line jumps all the way up into New England. In fact, this red line here is a 10 degrees Celsius isotherm at 850 millibars. This, again, as the warm front advances to the north and east, all precipitation after midnight into the early morning hours. Very likely to be in the form of plain rain. Some fog could break out late tonight, and at any time on Wednesday there can be some fog along with periods of rain. Let's now jump ahead to the Wednesday morning forecast map. Well, here we go for tomorrow morning. Basically plain rain up and down the I-95 corridor. Not necessarily raining the whole time tomorrow, but there can be rain at pretty much any time. Temperatures could make it to the 50-degree mark in D.C., into the 40s in Philly, and even perhaps in New York City. Fog could occur at just about any time. But notice here, just to the south and west, another area of decent precipitation here on the doorstep. Let's now jump ahead to tomorrow night, and we'll focus in on the significant snow threat for late Wednesday night and Thursday. Well, here we go. By tomorrow evening, colder air will start pressing in from the northwest. Here's the freezing line at 850 millibars come early tomorrow night, about 7 o'clock tomorrow night. This is gradually dropping to the south and east. Colder air will be pushing in after the frontal passage. An Arctic front slips on through late tomorrow, and this sets the stage for this potential significant snow event. Let's now jump ahead another 6 hours. And here's the forecast map for late tomorrow night, just shortly after midnight, about 1 o'clock in the morning. This is the time period where any rain should be changing over to snow up and down the I-95 corridor. That freezing line continues to push to the south and east. So again, by the time early Thursday rolls around, it should be snowing and accumulating in the I-95 corridor from D.C. to Baltimore to Philadelphia. Let's now jump ahead another 6 hours. And here's the forecast map from last night's 0Z GFS model run for Thursday morning, 7 o'clock Thursday morning. By this time, that freezing line at 850 millibars just to the south and east of the I-95 corridor. Basically, whatever's falling at this time should be in the form of snow. Preliminary estimates put this in the possibility of a 4 to 8 inch type of snowfall late Wednesday night into the day on Thursday. The focus of the heaviest snow will probably be Thursday morning. Now, this is, of course, subject to change, but right now we're talking perhaps a 4 to 8 inch type of snowfall up and down the I-95 corridor late Wednesday night and Thursday morning. Very cold weather closes out the work week on Friday with high temperatures probably confined to the 20s, which is way below normal for this time of year. So a lot going on over the next couple of days. Stay tuned to VencoreWeather.com for updates later on today. That's it for now. I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.